welcome back to the finale of Orktober 2025. I failed. But did I? Let's find out. So, at the beginning of the month, I said I wanted to paint 2,025 points of orcs in the month. I also said I wanted to do some kit bashing and some building, and overall do a lot of things. So, I did a lot of things. I got a lot of those things done. What did I not get done? I think that's going to be a good place to start. All right. So, I never did get around to building the last couple of models. I still have a few that I need to get done. I still have to build Red Gobbo Surprise and the Grotzmas Kit. That's going to happen because I still do plan on painting those later in the year. I never did get to kit bashing a battle wagon or the fire truck. So, small kit bash ideas that sadly I just never had the time. Sometimes when you take on a lot of different items and projects, some of them have to be the thing that is willing to be let go so that you can get the rest of the things done. And overall, out of the decisions that I made, I'm okay with this. Out of everything I had on the table at the beginning of the month, this is definitely the smallest project in mind. Because I did finish a lot of things. Here, let me show you. Here we go. Out of the 2,025 points, plus the Gorka Pla conversion and building Rolla, I have everything based. Everything is battle ready, painted. Not Gorka Pla, but the 2025 points. The only things I did not actually manage to finish were the Stompa and the Dakajet. And that is because I wanted to do oils. I wanted to do some oil washes. And the last week of Orktober was cold and rainy. And I was not able to get out to do gloss varnishes or any of the other stuff that I would normally do outside. So they are technically battle ready. The Dakajet is based. The Stompa does not have a base. They are both more than 3 colors. So technically, I did get 2,025 points of orcs battle ready this month. And I also built the rest of Rolla. There might be still a few more details that I'll put on there, but like there's some bombs and stuff that I can glue on. But I built several large models, neither of which had any instructions whatsoever. And I got a full army painted to at least tabletop standard. This was, although not everything got done, this was an amazing month. And I will finish the Dakajet and Stompa before the end of the year, so long as the weather gives me a few days of nice. I just need to get out there twice, and I should be able to get everything done. So I'll have those done before the end of the year. But This is such a great inclusion to the WAAAGH. I am so happy with how everything turned out. So let's get closer looks of these things. So we have the blue kazoo. And my overall wash at the end was a little bit darker than I was expecting, but I don't think it hurts too much. But anyway, back to the blue kazoo. As I was painting these, the chat decided to call them the blue kazoo. So I now have a unit of 6 that can be counted as 2 separate units of 3. So I will have the blue kazoo and the blue kazoo 2. Yep. There's a lot to these models. They're way busier than they look when you're painting them. So I did do a dark blue contrast over some of the metallics of the body to give them a little bit of a detail color without overwhelmingly black or metallic. And I think that worked out pretty well. A lot of different metallic colors, nice blue for tying in with the blue kazoo. And overall, pretty nice models. They just take a lot to paint. Red wires and everything. But yeah. Oh, and I had to paint up the little weird thing because it was there. So just 3 quick speed paints. But I like how it came out. Alright. And then we have the WAAAGH. Again, it's not quite done. I need to do some rivets. Lots and lots of rivets. And it definitely needs some oil streaks and everything. This definitely needs that weathering and having those on there. Make the little ridges darker and everything. But overall, it's ready for those to be done. And I do have the canopy, but I'm going to wait until I'm done with everything else before I glue that on. But overall, I love how bright and vibrant the primary colors are, and I want that to still be somewhat there when I get to the oil washes. So it's one of the reasons why I want to do oils. I don't want to mute down anything too much. I want to be able to clean it off. So, and then Stompa is huge. And I spent some time painting the little driver, or, whatever. And it still has some more details that I'd like to do. It has some more metallics and everything that I could probably put on here, and it absolutely needs that oil wash. It'll tie so much of this in together. But it is painted to a level where I could put it on the battlefield. So this is the only other thing that I really think needs some more time, other than the WAAAGH. But I really like how the Death Killer War Trike came out. Let me see if I can get a better angle. The lighting is not playing well with this stuff today. Here we go. What I should do is set up the spinning shots that I do. But it's the end of Orktober, so we're doing it the Ork way. So, yeah. This is a cool sculpt. It's much larger than it looks before you build it. But I like how it came out. The Def Dreads came out pretty nice. I love the little details that I did, like the hazard stripe blue and pink, and where it says WAAAGH and goes all the way off to the other side because they ran out of space. So I love them. They're going to be great in battle, I hope, because tomorrow I'm actually bringing them to a crusade tournament. It's all for fun, but I'm hoping that my list will do all right. And then 3 units of grots, because might as well get more of those done, right? And again, I like how they came out. These guys are going to be quite useful. Oh, and I also managed to magnetize all of the bases for the rest of my army. So these are all able to go in my cases now. But then we get to the big mechs. Well, the mechs and the big mechs, because that was the idea for this month, was the mechs were coming to reinforce my crusade army. I had a lot of boys before now, and now the mechs are bringing the big guns. So I have 2 mechs painted up. They have the little poles that show that they're mechs, and they have the saws, and they're ready to game. So, yeah. And then we have the big mech with shock attack gun. And I like how I used the yellow contrast for the lightning. I like how that came out. And then the big mech. And there are 5 different metal colors used on him. He has been quite busy scrapping things. And yeah, I spent a good 2 hours on his skin, which was a fun time. I enjoyed that. And I think it came out pretty good. I know that the camera is not really picking it up, but it has some highlights and some shadows that some of my other models don't. So I'm happy to have him in my painted pile now. And then, the mech guns all look decent. So let me clean up here a little bit, and I will show you what my list is for tomorrow. And here's my 1,000 points for tomorrow's games. Let's see how it goes. I'm running all 9 mech guns as bubble chuckas. I have the big mech with shock attack gun with 1 unit of 3, and the big mech with the other unit of 3. I have 2 units of 11 grots. I have 2 def dreads and a unit of 3 defcopters. The blue kazoo 2 are coming to reinforce. And I don't expect to win any of the games, but I'm going to have a blast with my bubble chuckas. Yup, that is so Orky of a joke. Doesn't matter which of the 3 you roll, they do get blast. So, I think it'll be really fun to see if I'm having a bunch of small, weak attacks or some strength 12 attacks or anything in the middle. I don't expect a lot of this to do very well, but I'm going to have so much fun tomorrow going out there and giving it my best with my reinforcements. And now I think it's time to set up what does my fully painted orc army look like right now. 4,000 points of painted orcs. Wah! I am thrilled to see 4,000 points of painted orcs. And I know that the WAAAGH will only grow from here. So, what will I do in Orktober 2026? What will I do going forward in general? Well, I have quite a few more orcs still in my collection that need to be painted, and the WAAAGH will only grow from here. I am looking forward to it, but until the next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss. WAAAGH! Subscribe if you haven't so that you don't miss any future videos. I also want to thank my patrons and supporters for making these videos possible. And until next time, I hope you find your bit of bliss. Okay, because I had to. Here is everything. This is all the orcs.